if you struggle with finding the balance between being feminine and soft while also being strong and assertive, then this video is definitely for you because I have really struggled just about my entire life with being a nice girl, a people pleaser, being very much in my soft girl era. And I needed to learn how to be assertive and be fierce and set boundaries. So I embarked on that journey and I learned how to be assertive, how to be strong. However, I leaned a little bit too much on the assertive side, and it definitely came off as rude and blunt many times. And for me, learning that balance of being soft yet also being strong has definitely been a journey. And I wanted to share with you 5 points that have helped me find a really nice middle ground so that I can lead with my soft feminine energy while also trusting that I have my dark feminine energy, my strong, assertive, and fierce side if I need it, so that I don't feel like people can just walk all over me. All right. So, the first point that I have, and I have my note written on the side, is that I lead with openness and kindness and love. I don't lead with aggression, with strong emotional walls up. I don't lead with that. I lead with openness. I lead with kindness. I do lead with love, trusting that the universe, that God will bring me the energy that I am giving out. But there are people in this world who may try to take advantage of your kindness and may try to push your boundaries. And what I have found has worked really well for me is I lead with kindness and I lead with openness and I lead with love. However, if I do meet somebody who is taking my kindness as weakness, who might be trying to push my boundaries, that is then when I will show them my assertive and fierce and dominant side. But I don't lead with that dominant side first because I did that once. And yes, I definitely protected myself a lot more. However, I also blocked a lot of the blessings and a lot of the love and wonderful gifts that the universe could have brought me if I led with openness. So I highly encourage you to lead with that love, with that openness, and do not be afraid that people will mistake your kindness for weakness. Because, yes, there are going to be people that do that, but the ultimate gift is being able to trust yourself and that you can stand up for yourself and protect yourself and set those boundaries if you need to, if the situation calls for. But if you lead with being overly dominant and having those emotional walls up, if you lead with that, you are going to block so many blessings, so many healthy, loving, kind, wonderful people who do want to support you and support your journey because they're going to see those walls up and immediately it's not going to feel welcoming. So trust that you can protect yourself and that you can handle yourself if you come across somebody who does try to push your boundaries. Yes, that is the caveat of leading with love and openness. Again, there will be people who do try to take advantage of you, but I think that it is the lesser of two evils to lead with openness and protect yourself if you need to, rather than lead with aggression and assertiveness and block all of your blessings. Now, if you were like how I used to be for 28 years and you do consider yourself a people pleaser and you really do struggle to set those boundaries and you want to find that balance of being more assertive, one thing that I highly recommend that I often find that people pleasers struggle with is that they tell themselves that communicating their boundaries is uncomfortable and that uncomfortable is a bad thing. Communicating your boundaries, setting your boundaries is going to be uncomfortable because you're not used to it. It is. It's going to be uncomfortable. Anything that is new that you're not used to doing is going to inevitably be uncomfortable. However, what I want you to do is, instead of telling yourself that uncomfortable or discomfort is bad, I want you to rewrite that narrative and instead tell yourself, because it's true, that discomfort, feeling uncomfortable, is good, because that means that you are pushing yourself to grow and evolve and adapt and to change into the next best version of yourself. So instead of seeing discomfort and feeling uncomfortable as a sign that it's wrong, it's bad, that you should not do that, instead, I want you to rewrite the story and tell yourself that feeling uncomfortable and that discomfort is a good thing, because it means that you are challenging yourself. You're challenging yourself to grow and evolve into the woman that you know that you need to be, to stop being a people pleaser, to stop getting walked all over, to stop attracting narcissists and people who try to control you. Okay, that is what I had to do when I started setting boundaries. It was incredibly uncomfortable. When I started speaking up for myself, it was incredibly uncomfortable because I was not used to that. And that is okay. That's not just okay, it's good. Because I knew, again, that me setting those boundaries and speaking up and being assertive, yes, it was uncomfortable, but that meant that I was growing and changing and evolving, which again, I knew that I had to do if I wanted to learn how to not just survive in this world, but thrive in this world, because I was not thriving as a people pleaser. Lastly, what helped me find that beautiful balance between being soft and strong was learning how to feel safe within my body. And how I learned how to feel safe within my body was accepting the idea that I cannot control other people or situations outside of me. And that is okay. That is okay. The only thing that I can control and that I'm going to control is my reaction to what happens outside of me. That is always within my control. So I may not be able to control if somebody pushes my boundaries, if somebody says something rude to me, if situations at work or whatever it may be happen that I don't think are good or moral or desirable. I can't control that. I can't. But I can always control how I react to these situations. And in every situation, there is a silver lining. There's something positive that comes out of every situation, because you can learn something from every single situation that you encounter in life. And so accepting that idea that I cannot control people or situations or circumstances outside of me, but I can always find the silver lining. I can always find the learning lesson for myself, and I can always control how I react to that situation. That switch in my mindset and that belief really helped me feel safe within my body, because I know that no matter what happens, who comes in and out of my life, I can handle it because I can control my reaction. And I know that there's always a positive learning lesson in absolutely everything that I experience and everything that is thrown my way, even if it's not necessarily, again, desirable in that moment. There's always a positive learning lesson. And I'm always looking for, what is the learning lesson here? How can I take this in a useful and positive and productive way and use it to help me guide my life further? I can always find that. You can always find that in every single situation. And that is very empowering. So instead of thinking, oh my God, why did this person do that? I need to protect myself. I can't control these things. This is terrible. No, you can't control other people. You cannot control the environment outside of you. That's okay. But you can control how you react to it. You can always find a positive learning lesson, and you can always take it as more information for how to go about life, how to navigate future similar situations or people as you continue on throughout your journey. And I think a lot of people forget that, and myself included, that life is about experiencing all that you can experience, and it's about growing and evolving and adapting. And so every situation that we're faced with, it's here to teach us something. We're often taught that that's good, that's bad, that shouldn't happen, that should happen. That's not how life works. Things happen. Things happen whether we want them to or not. And the one thing that we can control is whether or not we can extrapolate a positive learning lesson from it. And that's what life wants us to do. That's what God wants us to do. He wants us to go through trials and tribulations. He wants to experience both positive and negative situations, desirable and undesirable situations. And he wants us to grow from them. And we can always grow from them if we take a step back and we control our emotional reaction. And instead of saying, woe is me, I am the victim, we ask ourselves, what is the learning lesson that I can take from this situation? What is life? What is God trying to teach me here? And when we embrace and accept that idea, it's so much easier to feel safe within our body. And when we feel safe, we're able to find that balance of, okay, I can be soft and I can be open and I can lead with kindness and love, while also understanding that I have that strength within me, because I know that I can control my reaction, I can control how I see the situation, and that helps me not feel powerless. So you feel that inner strength without having to necessarily lead with it, because you want to lead with that kindness and that love, because what you put out, you're going to attract more of that. So those are just a few of the things that have been monumentally helpful for me in finding that balance between being feminine, being soft, while also being strong and assertive, and tapping into my dark feminine energy and being fierce. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.